Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've always wanted to say that. Anyways, we're gonna do get ready with me and answer some questions about me living in London. So here we go. I'm gonna start with makeup, and I prime my face using the e.l.f. Bro, I use this all the time so you can't even like see what's on here, but it's the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Gone through like 3 different containers of this, and this one's already about to run out too. So I'm gonna start with priming my face, and then afterwards I have been skipping foundation, or not even foundation. I don't use foundation because I think it's too thick, but I do have skin tint, but I've been skipping that because alhamdulillah, no one give me evil eye, please. Everyone say mashallah. My skin has been looking pretty decent, I'd say, so I just stick to priming my face. Today we are gonna talk about how I came to study abroad in London, and I'm not doing like a semester abroad. My entire university is here. Yeah, and I'm gonna be here for 3 years for my bachelor's degree, currently studying business and finance. So before I came to London, let me start from the beginning. By the way, I'm gonna continue using the Say Super Glowy Super Gel in Star Glow, and use this on my cheeks to give me that like glass skin look, just like that much. But anyways, so before even going to London, I graduated high school in the year 2020, which I still can't believe that's 3 years ago. Like, you're actually joking. I graduated, and then I applied to schools, and I decided to go to University of Minnesota, Twin Cities, under international relations, which is definitely really different from what I'm doing now. But yeah, I was doing international relations, and I found that, first of all, international relations isn't really something, it's something that I'm interested in, but I didn't see myself having a future in that, which is okay because a lot of people change their minds all the time. But on top of that, I wasn't expecting to have my first semester in university online, and I really struggled with that, and I felt like I wasn't learning anything or benefiting from that. So I decided to drop out of college. I never would have thought I would have, like, now I can say I'm a college dropout, you know. I dropped out of university, then I started working second semester, or what would have been my second semester. And I thought to myself, because even during high school when I was applying to colleges, I was like, I really want to study abroad. But at that time, I think I was too scared, so I never like full sent it. I'm gonna do my lids now, and I'm gonna use the Glossier Sky Wash in the color Echo, and I'm just gonna dot it on my lid and blend it out with the brush. I just decided to apply to schools in London, and I think how I applied was, it is actually much cheaper applying to schools here because you get to apply to 5 schools for like £20 under the application called UCAS, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a while. Then I got in, I think because it was COVID, when I submitted my applications, I pretty much heard back from all the schools within 1 week after applying, which I'm not sure if that's normally the case or not, but that was, because it was COVID time, like peak COVID, that's how I heard back from my schools. What I like about studying here in London is that my degree is 3 years. And I think that the reason why it's 3 years instead of 4, for most cases, for all like bachelor's degree, generally speaking, it's three years. And I like how, compared to the US, we don't have to take electives that's not related to our degree, because I was so frustrated when I was still doing uni in America, and I had to take electives like science or math classes that had nothing to do with international relations, and I thought that's such a waste of time, which I think that's why it's a 4-year degree in the US instead of a 3-year degree. I'm gonna continue using the 18W Natural Wonder palette by Morphe, and I'm gonna use this palette to make my winged eyeliner. I usually go for these 3 colors, this light brown, guys, look at my setup, it's so embarrassing. Anyways, light brown, brown, and black, but I think I'm gonna go with the brown, and I just use an angled brush also from Morphe. A lot of people ask me why I chose London. Again, it was just something that I've always thought about, not just London, but I knew that I just wanted to be in a city, because for high school I lived like in the middle of nowhere, you can say. And I didn't like that, especially because I grew up in New York City for 10 years and then moving to New Hampshire, that was like, wow, where am I? There's nothing to do here. But yeah, I love living in the city because there's so much diversity. Nobody will look at you weird when you wear the hijab, unlike where I lived in New Hampshire. Also, another thing, it is actually cheap. You're actually joking. Wait a second. As I was saying, that now that I got that whole thing situated, rude. I was saying that it is somewhat cheaper to actually study abroad here, because even though London's a big city and it is known for being quite expensive compared to other cities, it is, because my degree is 3 years instead of 4, I don't need to pay for that extra year. And even if we are being charged like international student fees compared to like local student fees, I would say the tuition is like cheaper. It's not like NYU where it's like 80 grand a year. Like, that's just insane. I don't want to go in debt paying that much in a year. Also, one piece of advice for me, for people who are looking to go into college, the school that you go to actually doesn't matter, because coming from me, everyone knows, at least my close friends know, that my dream school was NYU. I wanted to go move back to New York so badly, and I thought NYU was like the it school for me, the dream school. I was so devastated when I didn't go in, or when I didn't get accepted, because I thought my life was over. Not to be dramatic, but yeah, it actually doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we're all getting a degree. It literally depends on how much effort you put into getting your degree and what you do to make the most of it. Look at me being an inspirational speaker. What the hell? For me, I realized that prioritizing the location of the school mattered a lot for me, at least in my opinion, because if I were to choose a school, let's say in like, I don't know, the suburbs, I generally don't think I would be happy there. And because I wouldn't be happy there, I would just have no motivation to try hard in school. Like, do you get what I mean? I finished doing my eyeliner. It's really subtle. I just like to do like the corners slightly. Sometimes I'll line my inner corners, but today I'm not feeling it. Moving on, I'll curl my lashes using this. It is the best. I forgot who it was, but somebody put me onto this, and I never bought any other eyelash curler ever again. It's the Shiseido eye curler, and it's meant to be good for Asian lashes, because my lashes are long, but they're really straight. Like, you see, once they're curled, bro, like, I don't even need to put mascara on, but I do it anyways. I recently just bought this. Usually I would use the L'Oreal Telescopic mascara in extra black. All-time favorite mascara. No high-end luxury brand mascara will beat this mascara. I'm telling you that right now. Y'all need to get this. I don't care. But recently they came out with the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift, which I also really like. I don't know if I prefer this one over the original, but I have been using this one a lot recently. But what I don't like about it is sometimes there'll just be too much of the actual mascara on the one, and I'll have to like wipe it off. Another question that I always get is, what is it like to live abroad by myself? I'm not gonna lie to you, first year I didn't feel homesick at all, which I feel like isn't normal compared to other people, because everyone that I knew that was studying abroad here by themselves and had no family whatsoever would feel homesick, and they would have to travel back home often. But I think because my high school experience was so bad, like, I genuinely I hated my high school experience, period. There was nothing I enjoyed about it. It was just so bad. And I remember people in high school were saying things like, oh, you're just enjoy the time that you have now, because once you're past high school, you're just gonna look back and miss your high school experience. I'm sorry, but that is not how I feel personally. Don't get me wrong, like I love my family and stuff, but I think it was nice to finally have that experience that I've been searching for the longest time. I'm currently in my second year of living in London. My first year, I lived in a dorm and I shared a studio with one other person. Shout out to Agna, my Lithuanian queen. I don't know if you're watching, but yeah, wonderful roommate. I was only a 10-minute walk away from my university, which was nice, but the downside of living in that dorm was I was kind of far in transportation, especially because my University of Greenwich, is very, I think it's further away from like central London because we're in south, so yeah. And then second year, I've made friends with some of the closest people I've ever been close to. Did that even make any sense? Second year, I moved in with my friends that I've made within my first year, and now I live in an apartment or in a flat with 3 other people, and we each have our own rooms, which is so nice. The downside of living here though is that I do have to travel 30 minutes instead of like a 10-minute walk, but I don't really mind it because I love just sitting on the bus, just looking outside with my headphones on. So yeah, I don't mind it. To sculpt my face a bit more and my round cheeks, I'll use the Chanel, what is this called? Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. And I'm gonna use my setting spray, actually, my Urban Decay All Nighter, and spray some on there just to make it easier to get product. I don't know if people do this, but that's what I do. And I'll take a fluffy brush and take some of that product. I think that now that it's my second year living here in London, I'm more familiar with my surroundings, like I'm more used to living here. I will say that coming back after winter break this year, I think I did feel much more homesick. Like, low-key, I even cried before coming here. My parents don't know this, so if my mom and dad are watching this, yeah, I did cry, okay? I have feelings. I do think I miss my parents much more, especially because now I'm gonna be coming home like end of May compared to last year. Between January and May, I was able to come home 2 times, so this time I'm gonna go much longer without seeing them, so I think it does make me more sad. If you guys do decide to come here and study abroad, it is so important to find people who are your friends, because if you're here and you don't have anyone to talk to, I think I would have gone crazy by now. And knowing me, I'm pretty introverted, so I really did make sure to put myself out there and talk to new people. As for blush, I would normally use either the Say Dewy blush or the Rare Beauty one, but recently I've been using the Sephora, I'm not really sure what it's called, Sephora S Clean Velvet Cream Blush Palette. That's such a long name. And I've been using this color on the top right here. And again, it's kind of hard to pick up with the brush if it's not like sprayed with my setting spray, so that's what I'm gonna do, spray that. And again, use the same brush. Guys, I don't know if I'm disgusting or I just don't know what brushes to use, but I'm gonna be using the same brush. Pick some of that up. As for what my schedule looks like as a business and finance major, again, I can't really speak for other programs or majors because I feel like definitely business and finance is much different to like what a pharmacy student or like some medical student would have as a schedule. But for me, I do think that it is much more chill or like much less work than what American students have to go through in America, because right now I only come in I come in 3 times a week, and it's only for 2 hours at a time. What work looks like is we don't have like weekly quizzes or weekly tests. We have one big project or one big exam at the end of the semester. So take that as you will. That could either be a good thing where you feel less stressed, but at the same time, because there's only 1 or 2 projects due at the end of the academic year, you have to really make sure that you're on top of things and turn that in time, and don't be lazy because there are only 1 or 2 assignments or exams or whatever. You have to make sure you do your best on that, because that's literally like the only thing you'll be graded on. Like, you don't have a chance to like redo it. If you redo it, you have to come in again in July, and if you fail that, you're gonna have to retake the whole year. So I mean, there's pros and cons to this. My best friend Iman actually gave this to me for my birthday, and it came in a set of 2, like a travel sized one, and it's the Beauty Light one by Charlotte Tilbury. And I just take a little bit of that, literally just like 2 dots, just to, again, I'm obsessed with the whole glass skin look, so I love looking dewy on like the highlights of my face. I just take my finger and tap that in real quick. Things I like about living in London include more freedom. I think I guess this goes for everyone, and once you go to university, you do have more freedom as a person because you're far away from your family. But at the same time, I do think that makes you closer to your family because you're not in a position where you're forced to see your family members every day. But look at that glow. The camera's not really picking it up, but I can assure you there's glow. I actually forgot the most important part. If you do choose to study abroad here, not just like first semester, you have to be warned that applying for a visa here is actually a lengthy process, and you want to do that. Like, you want to give yourself time before coming to the UK to get your visa, because it does take a while and it is expensive. You have to pay everything up front, so like visa, you can't like really do that with a loan, like a student loan or anything. You have to pay that beforehand. And if I'm not wrong, I think that with like health insurance, which you're like required to pay, I think that was like 1,500 or 2,000. And yeah, so you just have to be warned. I forgot if I mentioned I use the Got2b glue for my brows. I don't really like filling in my brows because my brows are already really dark, so I don't know, I just comb them into place. And lastly, for my lips, I will be using the Clinique Black Honey, the one that went really TikTok famous, and just put a light layer of it on my lips. I'm not gonna lie, the thing I don't like about this is that I don't know if it's drying or because I have really dry lips, but this is drying for me, so I can only put like a light layer on top and put gloss on top of that just so my lips don't look all cracked. I'm gonna use the Sephora lip gloss. This was supposed to be in a clear, but because I usually use it as a topper gloss, it has turned into like this kind of pinky shade. But this is one of my favorite clear glosses because it's not sticky and it genuinely looks glossy. Now I'm gonna recurl my lashes and then show you guys the final look. The sun has been going down, and I think as you guys watch this video, it's just gonna slightly get darker and darker, but this is what we ended up with. It's very natural makeup. I think my makeup journey has definitely changed because when I started makeup, I think it was like 2020, and I would do like full-on like colorful looks, which is cool and all, but knowing me, I think I'm much more of like a natural like nudes and like little blush person now. Thank you so much if you guys watched this entire video. It actually means a lot to me. I've been wanting to do YouTube for a while now, but you know, I've been kind of scared too. It's 2023, new year, and we'll see how far things will take me. So thanks for watching.